What's up, guys? HackinDude1940 here. We are back in another episode of our Let's Talk NHL series. In this video, I want to talk about the trades that happened on June 27th, 2015. Now, in the last episode, I covered the trades that happened on the 26th and the 27th, and now I want to follow that up about the deals that happened after the first round of the draft. And so yeah, there were a bunch of trades, so let's get started. Now, first up, the Vancouver Canucks trade goaltender Eddie Lack to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Carolina's third-round pick in the 2015 draft, which is 66th overall, and a seventh-round pick in 2016. So basically, Eddie Lack for a third and a seventh. And I don't know. I mean, I think... I'm not sure. I'm not the GM or anything. I don't know if the Canucks could have gotten more for Eddie Lack. I think they could have, I think maybe a third and a fourth or two-thirds. I don't know. I think they could have gotten more than a third and a seventh for Eddie Lack. I know the Canucks were trying to trade either Markstrom or Lack. I would think Lack out of those two guys would have the most trade value, but I guess the third-round pick's all they could get. But Carolina, that's good for Carolina because you'll see they end up trading another goaltender later on. But they have Cam Ward, who I guess is still the starter, but now they have Eddie Lack, who can kind of grow and maybe grow into the starting goaltender in Carolina, so that's good for them. Now up next, the San Jose Sharks trade the rights to goaltender Antti Niemi to the Dallas Stars in exchange for a 7th-round pick in the 2015 draft, which was 193rd overall. And this was... The Sharks just completely messed up here because the San Jose Sharks... I don't remember too well. I don't remember if they couldn't trade Niemi at the deadline or they chose not to. I know they were looking at offers. I don't know if they just didn't get an offer they liked or what, but any offer they got was I would assume better than a 7th-round pick. So Niemi, they waited way too long to trade Niemi, and they ended up having to just trade his rights for a 7th-round pick. At least they got something, but if they had made this move at the trade deadline, they could have gotten a lot more because, it's been speculation since late 2014, basically, that the Sharks may not have been able to sign Niemi or that they didn't want to sign Niemi. They should have traded him right then. I don't know why they waited so long. But yeah, they only ended up getting a 7th-round pick. But for Dallas, this is awesome because now you have the two Finnish goaltenders. You've got Kari Lehtinen as the starter, and now you've got Antti Niemi as a backup. I mean, that's awesome. And don't they still have, what's his name? Or no, they traded him to Buffalo, that's right. But they have Jonas Enroth now as their third-string goaltender, I guess. But no, he's going to free agency, isn't he? I think so. But yeah, that's a great 1-2 punch and goal for the Dallas Stars. Kari Lehtinen and Antti Niemi. Niemi, he's been a starter for the last few years. He won a cup with Chicago. He's been the starter for the Sharks. Was never the greatest goaltender, but he was still a suitable, starting goaltender, and now he's the backup in Dallas, which I think he'll fit a lot better, and he'll thrive a lot better there. Now, up next, this one, man, I wasn't too happy about this one, but I'll get into it in a second. The Anaheim Ducks trade forward Emerson Edom and a 2nd-round pick, which was the 41st overall pick, to the New York Rangers for left wing Carl Hagelin and a 2nd-round pick, which was 59th overall, and a 6th-round pick, 179th. So basically, Emerson Edom and a 2nd for Hagelin, a 2nd and a 6th. And at first I was really sad about this because I had heard months ago that, the Rangers could possibly trade Hagelin, and I heard weeks ago leading up to this that the Rangers may have to trade someone, and Hagelin would be that guy because they need to free up salary cap. Hagelin's going to get, like I said in my Rangers offseason video, Hagelin could easily get, $3.5 million. He had a great year with the Rangers. He had, I think, a career high, 35 points, and he did great in the playoffs, as he always does. Anaheim fans, you guys are going to love Carl Hagelin. He's one of the fastest players in the NHL, if not the fastest. He's not a guy who will, dazzle you with the, he doesn't have great moves or anything. He doesn't, go around deking everyone out or anything, but he uses his speed so well, and he can play so well on the penalty kill. He's a great penalty killer, really uses his speed there, and just, if you give him the puck on the wing, he can just take the puck, accelerate in half a second, and just beat the defender wide and cut to the net, and that's how he scores. he's just so fast and he uses his speed so well. Like I said, great penalty killer, and he performs in the playoffs. So for you Ducks fans, you guys are going to love Carl Hagelin, and I'm really going to miss him. He's been a Ranger for, you know, since the beginning. He was a sixth-round draft pick of the Rangers, I think, in like 2011. And his rookie season was 2011-12. He came and did well. He won the Super Skills competition, and ever since then, he's been very consistent on that third line. And it's tough to see him go, especially because for you guys that don't know, he, Derek Brassard, and Matt Zuccarello, and now Kevin Hayes is sort of joining the group. But those guys are all just best friends. If you, I'll see pictures on Instagram and video. They even had a series on MSG, I think. I forget what it was called, but they had a series together, where it was just like a reality series, kind of like the Boston Bruins have like Behind the Bee, and the Oilers have Oil Change, that kind of stuff. It was kind of like that, but it was with those three guys, and they were just best friends, and it was so sad to see it. But I went on Instagram and I checked Derek Brassard's page, his account, just to see if he posted anything. And there was just a picture of him and Carl Hagelin, and the caption was, "I'm going to miss this guy." And it was so sad, because it's like, these guys, it's not just like they're players. It's not like you're playing GM mode, and it's just a name with an overall, and you just trade it. Like, these guys have families, and they live in these places, and they have best friends on the team. And, Hagelin, these guys grew up together on this team, and now he's going to Anaheim. It's tough. It's tough, but Emerson Edom, I'm really excited about Emerson Edom. I really am. I'm always excited every year to see new players join the Rangers, and see what they look like in that Ranger jersey. I can picture him in a Ranger jersey, but Emerson Edom, he's very fast, and I mean that's what was exciting about it, because I was like, man, Carl Hagelin, we just lost our fastest player, but Emerson Edom is. I don't know if he's faster than Hagelin, but he's either just behind him or just as fast as Carl Hagelin. I watched this guy in the playoffs, and all they could talk about was his speed and how fast he was. And I'll never forget that goal he scored. I forget what team it was against, but he just like came in and he made a sick move, and he just like backhand roofed it on the goaltender in the playoffs. It was awesome. But yeah, I'm really excited about Edom. I think I think he's more of a talented player offensively than Hagelin is. I think he matches his speed well. He's not going to be as good defensively, obviously, but I think offensively he's going to be, hopefully, I don't know what his potential is. You Anaheim fans can let me know. I don't know if his potential is to be a 60-point guy or 50 or 45. I don't know if he's a career second, third liner. I don't know. I just know he was I know he's a first-round draft pick. I think he was like 24th or something like that. But the only thing that worries me is that he is still young. And Carl Hagelin got more points last season than Emerson Edom has in his NHL career so far. Hagelin just last season got 35 points. Emerson Edom has 31 career total points. Now I know Edom's only played a couple of years, but still, it's not like I can say the Rangers are getting a good 45-point scorer to put on the third line, because he hasn't even gotten 45 career points yet. Never mind a season like that. So hopefully he grows into that. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see how he turns out. I can just picture that third line of Kevin Hayes, Emerson Edom, and I don't know, Jesper Fast or something like that. I think that'd be a great third line for the Rangers. But yeah, I'm not going to say who I think won any of these deals. I'll point out if I think a team made a mistake or something like that. But overall, I think both teams did well. The Rangers, they moved up that first round, or that second round pick. They moved up from number 59 to 41, which was good. They drafted a guy named Ryan Gropp, who is a left-wing power forward from the Seattle Thunderbirds. So I'm really excited about him. I was really excited. I was hoping the Rangers could get a couple second-round picks if they made some trades and pick up some guys. And hopefully Gropp, he turns out to be like a Kreider or something for us, and he can make the team within the next 3 to 5 years. So hopefully. But up next, another New York Rangers trade. The New York Rangers trade goaltender Cam Talbot and their 7th-round pick in 2015, which was number 209 overall, to the Edmonton Oilers for Montreal's 2nd-round pick in the... Or no, not Montreal. It was previously owned by Montreal. This NHL page is really weird. It tells you all the backstory of who owned the pick, which is just crap. I don't know why it says that. But Edmonton's 2nd-round pick which is number 57, and a 7th round pick, which is 184th overall. So, Cam Talbot and a 7th for a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 7th. I think I forgot to include the 3rd round pick, but this page is just crap. it's all over the place. I'll read exactly what it says just so you guys can get a feel for what I'm trying to read through here. It says, New York Rangers traded goaltender Cam Talbot and their 7th round pick in 2015 NHL draft, 209th overall, to Edmonton for Montreal's 2nd round pick in 2015, previously acquired 57th overall, Ottawa's 3rd round pick in 2015, previously acquired 79th overall, and Edmonton's 7th round pick in 2015. So I've got to try to read through all the teams and just find the picks in there. But yeah, Talbot in the 7th for a 2nd, 3rd, and 7th. And I don't like this at all. I think if it was my choice, I would fire Glenn Sather right now, because I mean, he has screwed us up until this point basically, and now it's gone overboard now. Now it's enough. The one thing I always had faith in Glenn Sather, the one thing I always had faith in him was his trades. He always made bad free agent signings. He always signed guys for way too much or way too long. They never turned out. Or he always signed the guy too late or traded for the guy too late. But his trades were just excellent. The Marty St. Louis trade was bad. But, I mean, again, he led us to the Stanley Cup Finals, so you can't really say that. But, the Scott Gomez for Ryan McDonough deal. Even just little deals, like Michael Rostoval for Wojtek Wolski. That was a great trade. Kevin Kline for Michael Delzato was a great trade. He's always... The Rick Nash trade was awesome. He's just made so many great trades, and that's really made up for other bad things that he's done. But now he's starting to make bad trades, and I don't like it. Cam Talbot, it frustrated me so much, because all I could do during the day of the first round was just hope that eventually I'd see Cam Talbot for Cam Talbot and Kevin Kline for a first-round pick and a 2nd, or something like that. I was just really hoping that the Rangers would get a first-round pick and a Cam Talbot, and they could have. I saw that the Rangers, they got many, many offers. There were like 5+ offers that the Rangers got. One of them included a first-round pick. There were like 4 different deals that included 2 second-round picks. And so right there, Sather could have just taken 2 second-round picks. But no, he ended up getting a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 7th. He could have gotten so much more for Talbot if he had just made the decision quicker and just traded him away. I can't stand when GMs do that. They're such... I can't call them idiots, because they do it for a reason, I guess. That's why they're the GM. But I don't understand why he didn't just trade Talbot for 2 second-round picks, or trade him for a first-round pick. Why did he wait so long and then got even less for him? I just don't understand why he waited. Even I was sitting there saying, right now is the time to trade him. And, I thought in my head, once the first round was over, I was like, okay, this isn't going well. They're either not going to be able to trade Talbot, or they're not going to get anything for him. And they got something. It wasn't bad, but they could have gotten a lot more than a 2nd and a 3rd. That was the same that Vancouver got for Eddie Lack, and Cam Talbot's a lot better than Eddie Lack, so I don't know. It was tough to see. I think the Oilers definitely got the better end of this deal. The Oilers, they gave up 2 picks, or 3 picks, I guess, they got the 7th round pick back, so they only gave up 2 picks. But and now they got a goaltender, Cam Talbot. He could step in there, be the starter. He and Ben Scrivens will kind of battle that out. Cam Talbot's not going to solve the Edmonton Oilers goaltending problem. Talbot's been great over the last 2 years, but do I think he can be a legit starter in the league and play 60+ games a year? Or even 50+ games? I don't know. We'll see this season. The Edmonton Oilers, I think they're going to be good this season. They've picked up some guys here. They've drafted a bunch of players. They got other guys coming up. I think they're going to be good this year. Or when I say good, I mean better. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be better. And Cam Talbot, we'll see how he does. But I wouldn't expect him to grow into an elite goaltender. I think he's hit his cap, I would say. But now moving on, I gotta scroll down here. It's showing a bunch of pick trades. Oh, right here, the Toronto Maple Leafs trade left wing Brad Ross and a 4th-round pick to the Edmonton Oilers for defenseman Martin Marincin. And I really like this deal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know why the Edmonton Oilers gave up this defenseman. I thought he was a good young prospect for them, but I was hearing that people would be shocked if he was still an Oiler after the draft, and I don't know why. But the Maple Leafs, this is great for them because they're getting a good young defenseman at a low price. I don't know how good this Brad Ross guy is. I don't know what his potential is, but a 4th-round pick isn't much. Yeah, overall, great deal for the Maple Leafs. I don't know why the Oilers gave him up. I don't know if he doesn't have the greatest potential anymore. I'm not sure, but a good deal for the Maple Leafs. Alright, now, coming up next, the Anaheim Ducks trade defenseman James Wisniewski to the Carolina Hurricanes for goaltender Anton Khudobin. So, the Hurricanes, they picked up, they picked up Eddie Lack, the goaltender, so that pretty much sealed the fate of Anton Khudobin. They trade him now to the Anaheim Ducks, and this is good for the Ducks, because James Wisniewski, he has a big contract, or actually, I forget whether Columbus retained any of his salary when they traded him to Anaheim at the deadline, but the Ducks didn't even really use Wisniewski last year in the playoffs. He was benched for most of it. I thought he would have played, but he didn't really play much. And so Carolina, it's a good deal for Carolina, though, because James Wisniewski still is a great defenseman. And, Carolina, they had a good draft as far as defense. They picked up Hayden Fleury at last year's draft. They lost Andre Sekera, which hurt, but they still have Justin Falk. What's his name? Is it Connor Murphy? No, it's Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy, that's the one that they have. Now they pick up James Wisniewski. They drafted Noah Hannafin, so they're looking pretty good for defense there in Carolina. And also Anaheim, they get another goaltender. They have Frederik Andersen, John Gibson, and now Anton Khudobin. So if Gibson isn't doing well or he's not ready yet, they can still use Khudobin as a backup. Or if Anderson falters, I don't know. It's always good to have a third-string goaltender. Alright, so up next we have the Arizona Coyotes trade forward Sam Gagner and a conditional 2016 or 17 round draft pick to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for defenseman Nicholas Grossman and the contract of Chris Pronger. So Chris Pronger has left Philadelphia. He hasn't played in a few years now, but his contract, the Flyers have always had kind of that, that contract hanging over their heads, and now they get to unload that to the Arizona Coyotes because I guess they can, they can afford it. But I don't know. I think this is good for both teams because the Arizona Coyotes, they get a veteran, big defenseman. I mean, the Flyers, they're pretty much reconstructing their defensive core. They got rid of Kimmo Timonen and Braden Coburn at the trade deadline. Now they're unloading Nicholas Grossman. They still signed Nick Schultz to an extension this offseason, or not this offseason, this past season. They still have to re-sign Michael Del Zotto if they want to do that. They still have Luke Shen. But then they have a bunch of guys like Samuel Morin, Shane Gostisbehere. What's his name? Oh, no, I'm forgetting his name. It's Travis Sanheim and now Ivan Provorov, who they picked up at this draft, 7th overall. So they're really stacking up the defensive core. So I guess. With young players, so they can unload Nicholas Grossman in his contract, and also with unloading Pronger, that unloads a lot of salary. So now they have cap space going into free agency. And Sam Gagner is not a bad player. And Sam Gagner, for whatever reason, I always think he's older than he is. He's still a young player, and he's a very skilled player as well. And he's just been moved around so many times over the past couple of years, ever since he left Edmonton. There was like two years straight where they were talking about him leaving Edmonton, and then he finally did. Now it just seems like he's all over the place. But in Philly, I think he'll fit in. He can play the center or the wing, I guess. Philly's got a bunch of wingers now. Giroux, Couturier, Shen, and now Gagner. They got plenty of centers they can use for their top 9 forwards. So overall, I think it's a good deal for both teams. Alright, so up next we have the Ottawa Senators trade defenseman Eric Gryba to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for Travis Iwanek, and the 107th overall pick in the draft. So, This actually kind of took me by surprise. I don't know if this was for cap reasons or what. I'm not sure how good this Travis Iwanek guy is. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I don't know how good he is. But Eric Gryba, he's a huge, just tough defenseman, and I think that's why it's good that the Oilers picked him up. The Oilers, they've got some young defensemen there. They could use a big force on defense like Eric Gryba. So I think it's really good for them. The Senators, they have a stacked defensive core right now, and they just drafted that guy Chabot yesterday at the draft. So they've got plenty of defense, I guess. So again, for the Senators, I'm not sure how good that Iwanek guy is, but the 107th pick, nothing too special, but I guess a fair deal for both teams. I guess the Senators got as much as they could out of Gryba, but good for the Oilers picking up Eric Gryba. All right, so now the last trade of the day, another New York Rangers trade. The New York Rangers trade forward Ryan Haggerty to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for goaltender Antti Raanta. And I like this one because I was actually kind of, I was iffy about the goaltenders in free agency. Guys like Jonas Gustafsson, Ilya Brizgalov. Man, in a way, I would have been happy if the Rangers signed Brizgalov just because you love to hate him and you love to make fun of him. And I always make fun of Brizgalov. It's hilarious. But so in that way, I would have kind of laughed really hard if the Rangers signed him. I couldn't have seen him doing it, but they pick up Antti Raanta here, which I think is better than any goalie they could have signed in free agency. I don't think he has too big of a contract or anything like that. I think it's only like $1 million or something like that, or 1 point something. But this is good because he's a young goaltender. He's a goaltender that can fit right in as the backup, and I think he'll do well. And Ryan Haggerty, he was very close to making the Rangers last year. He stepped up in preseason, and he really impressed me. He actually reminds me of Ryan Callahan. I don't know what it is about him. It's just, I think the way he plays, he's just a gritty style game, and he just seems like a leader type player. And I was thinking last year that after another year or two in Hartford, he could really make the team in a couple of years and be a good player. But I don't know. But Chicago, so you're getting a good player there. Chicago's roster is pretty much filled up now, but they're looking to trade other guys away, like Patrick Sharp, Brian Bickle could still be traded within the next few days. So, we'll see if any other big trades happen, like if Patrick Sharp gets traded or Phil Kessel or Dion Phaneuf or anything like that. I'll make an individual video for that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank God it was only like 20 minutes. All my videos recently have been like 30 minutes. 40 minutes, an hour. It's been crazy, but and it's a lot of editing and stuff to do. But yeah, so that is my take on the deals that happened on June the 27th. Like I said, if any more deals happen or anything like that, I'll make a video about it. I'll make a video as well for the first day of free agency on where some of the free agents go. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.